Literally. Do I need to explain how awful this is? This is easily one of the worst booking decisions in, like, WWE history. To have Pat McAfee be the guy that was telling Randy Orton to turn heel, and the guy on the phone, like, literally is, like, some of the most idiotic thinking I've ever heard, and it's literally just, like, so stupid. Like, McAfee, like, first of all, let's get into McAfee's reasoning. According to McAfee, the reason as to why, he, did all this was because, WWE wasn't like the Attitude Era anymore. It wasn't prioritizing big guys like Stone Cold and The Rock and all that, basically. So he sought out a ruthless aggression era guy to hopefully save everything. Seriously? And also, too, this completely ruins, like, the phone angle they were already setting up, because now, the line where Randy says, wrestling has more than one royal family, it's just throwaway line now. And also, this is the biggest part I can't forgive. How on earth did you somehow screw up the most simple feud you had in the form of Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton? There was so much history there. Left, right, legacy. I mean, do I even need to explain it? There's so much history between these two. And yet, they still somehow ruined it. Now, before I continue on with this video, I have originally had a, more expansive reasoning and, like, a entirely, like, different section I wrote before I figured I, like, saw, like, why they went with McAfee, so I'll tell you guys the original one, and then we'll go into the one that I have in, like, the video right now. WWE basically is, how do I put this? They are basically now getting so, like, stupid with their storytelling, because I bet you, they originally had such a better story in mind. They had such a better idea for who was on the other side, but, and I don't know who, we predicted it. I'm calling it right now. We somehow predicted who the guy on the other side of the phone was before it, and we were all, like, correct. But then WWE was like, well, you know what, we can't have something be so predictable, it'll ruin the show, So they pivoted to Pat McAfee. Now, a lot of other entertainment media does it. For example, Steelers Studios was financed for a security breach. Originally, they had a way better storyline planned out, but then once people predicted it, they pivoted to something that was equally terrible than what it was before, with Burntrap coming back and Afton and the Fun from Temporary stuff and all that. And it ruined the story of Security Breach. And it's the same thing happening here. WWE had a better plan, but since we predicted it, it got worse. I know not all of you play Five Nights at Freddy's or like go into the lore like that, so I'll give you guys a WWE example. Back in 2009, at the Royal Rumble, there was a match between Jeff Hardy and Edge. Now, originally, before that, Jeff Hardy was going through a lot of stuff, you know, like, there was a lot of terrible stuff happening with Jeff. And originally, the culprit of those terrible stuff was originally going to be Christian. And he was meant to, like, come out at the end of Jeff Hardy versus Edge and cost Jeff the match. But, however, fans found out that Christian was coming back, and WWE thought that it would just be way too predictable, so instead they had Matt Hardy do it and had Christian debut on ECW. Again, literally exact same thing. We predicted it, and yet they're doing it. They're doing something else that doesn't make sense. Either way. Now, that's what I originally had written, and honestly, before I wrap things up, literally studios, companies, can you stop doing this? Because it ruins the story. Like, it ruins a perfectly great story that you had in mind, and it just garners it. Now, going back to what I was going to say earlier, let's get into what, I now have written. How else do I put this? You know, I'm not even going to find a creative way to, segue into it. I'm just going to get straight into it. So, basically, the entire reason as to why the Pat McAfee thing happened and why he's with Rayon was a Ari Emanuel decision. Now, if you don't know who Ari is, he's the CEO of TKO and basically the founder. And he basically told WWE to, pivot towards, Pat McAfee. Because probably, and this is what I think, is to, like, get more tickets for WrestleMania. And he's thinking of business. So instead of doing the what we had originally planned, he instead was like, no, we need Pat McAfee. He's a big celebrity, so it would work. Literally, this is some of the most stupidest thing ever, and not only does it get me annoyed, it also gets me kind of nervous of the future WWE, because let me tell you what else Ari Emanuel did. Last year, he brought The Rock and Travis Scott in to sell more tickets for Elimination Chamber. He was the one that made the call. And we all know how that turned out. Literally, this man does not know what he's doing. He only just sees the money and he does not care about the fans. And it just makes me sick and annoyed. And that's the problem with WWE TKO. TKO is literally just, like, every day it keeps on killing WWE because of all the celebrities, sponsors, all that thing, anything just to sell tickets, and yet they're not even gonna get tickets because they're charging people literally like billions of dollars. Like they're literally asking people for their bank account. If Ari Lily thinks that this is gonna work, then he does not know what he's doing. He clearly did not learn his lesson from last year because yes, this is basically a copy and paste of last year, and it's gonna be really fun when Pat McAfee walks down to the ring, taking 55 years only for anyone to punk Cody Rhodes at the end. I already spoke about everything, so now I want to hear from you in the comments. What do you guys think of, well, I mean, I shouldn't even ask what you guys think. I already know what you guys think, but, please expand on your opinions in the comments. I would like to hear all of them, and as always, like, subscribe, share this video with your friends, ring that bell for notifications, and I'll see you on the next video. Deuces, ooses, yeet. Wait. Don't dip out yet, ladies and gentlemen, because I got some news. Now, what I'm about to say is just a report, and it's not actually confirmed. But apparently the person that was originally, because like Pat McAfee was not the original plan for it. I'm pretty sure we can all tell that McAfee wasn't the original plan. But apparently, now before I get into this, don't take my words as facts. This is just a report I read, and it may be true, but it may also not be true. So the original person that was meant to be in place of Pat, to be like calling Randy Orton on the phone, was actually Vince McMahon. I'm not even joking. From the report I read, it was originally going to be Vince. This literally makes so much sense, it's not even funny. Because, like, think about it. The entire reason as to why Pat McAfee, is, like, aligning himself with Randy Orton because of, like, the attitude era and all that, and how WWE's not special, would literally be perfect if it was actually Vince and he was the one saying that. But apparently, the reason that's why it wasn't Vince was because, there's, like, new allegations spreading about him. I'm not sure about any of this, so I could be completely wrong. But this is just what I, saw, like, a report I saw. So, yeah, if it is Vince, that was true, then that would make 100% chance. But no, unfortunately, allegations happened. Ari Emanuel came in, and then just stuff went terribly. Alright, now it's the end. Alright, deuces, ooses, yeets. I'll see y'all in the next video.